We're going to jump right into this article. It is by Feminegra. It gives you details about and an explanation of why Meghan did what she did, how she did it in order to protect herself whilst simultaneously contacting her father. Why Meghan used protected channels to reach her father. The Daily Mail's framing left out key facts. Meghan contacted her father through protected government channels because any private call or message would be at risk of being recorded or passed straight to the press. She learned that lesson after winning her 2021 High Court privacy case against Associated Newspapers for publishing her 2018 private letter to her father. Since then, she has avoided direct communication that could be leaked. Now, Thomas Markle Jr. confirmed why that caution is necessary. In his own recording, he said all updates about his father will come through Caroline Graham at the Mail on Sunday, describing her as his father's amazing friend of 7 years and the person he trusts to share information. He also said she has never thrown the family under the bus, and that the public should expect all news to come from Graham and himself. His statement made it clear that the Daily Mail is the family's main point of contact, not Meghan. Meghan's decision to rely on secure channels reflected that reality. Any direct outreach would likely become a tabloid story, just as it has in the past. While the U.S. consulate arrived and what it means. The Daily Mail would go on to report on Monday, December 8th, that 2 representatives from the United States consulate in Cebu arrived at Thomas's bedside. Apologies if I mispronounced that. This visit was not a surprise for anyone familiar with diplomatic procedures. It came after Meghan saw official updates about her father. Consular agent Glenn Ivan Loop confirmed they were sent at the request of the U.S. Embassy in Manila. He asked Thomas to create a list of people authorized to receive health and well-being updates. This step showed that Meghan used a secure and transparent process. The Daily Mail story did not mention this context. Instead, the paper implied confusion and treated the visit as proof of heightened alarm. The visit followed routine protocol. The officials were checking on an American citizen who had a major medical event outside of the United States. Thomas told the Daily Mail that the email Meghan used no longer works, and his son has confirmed that updates about him now go through the Daily Mail journalist Caroline Graham. Expecting Meghan to call a phone that could be monitored or accessed by a media outlet she successfully sued is not realistic. My words is fucking bonkers. Harry is also suing the same publisher for unlawful information gathering, which makes that type of contact unsafe and unreasonable. One of the consulate officers mentioned he enjoyed suits. That detail revealed an awareness of the public interest surrounding Thomas and Meghan. The Daily Mail still attempted to treat the visit as proof that Meghan had stayed silent. By that point, however, People magazine, NBC News, and Reuters had confirmed that Meghan reached out on Friday. The Daily Mail pushed for a phone call because it can shape, quote, or sensationalize a call to create another round of Markle family exclusives. A protected diplomatic email blocks that tactic. The paper cannot sell it, spin it, or turn it into a new headline. The Court of Appeal ordered this same publisher in December of 2021 to issue a front-page apology to Meghan for unlawfully printing her private letter. The tactics that worked in 2018 no longer work now. Final thoughts. Meghan's response showed a clear strategy. She used a protected and fully documented channel to reach her father, leaving no room for the Daily Mail to twist, sell, or reshape the details. By involving U.S. officials, she removed the tabloid's usual access point and ensured that any contact remained secure. The shift was immediate. The dramatic ICU narrative faded once her outreach became a matter of record. The move demonstrated careful planning from someone who has learned through experience how to protect herself from a media pipeline that thrives on distortion and fucking lies, my words. The latest coverage of Thomas Markle's surgery showed how a tabloid can shape a story when it gains full access to a vulnerable patient. I don't think he's vulnerable. I think he's a money-hungry piece of crap. That's my opinion. Caroline Graham's presence inside his room created a pattern that has defined every crisis since 2018. Thomas has shared private details with the Mail for years, from the staged paparazzi photos before Meghan's wedding to the release of her handwritten letter. That record explains why any direct contact from Meghan would be exposed, recorded, or turned into content. Nothing in Thomas's recent behavior, including his son's claim that all updates come through a Daily Mail journalist, suggests a safe or private path for Meghan. The visit from the U.S. consulate confirmed that Meghan acted with care and followed the correct process. She used a protected channel because past attempts to reach her father ended up in paid interviews and tabloid exclusives. The Mail removed that context and focused instead on hospital staff who would not have been aware of diplomatic outreach. That framing helped the outlet present her as unresponsive while avoiding questions about its own role in keeping this estrangement alive. Stay woke.
So, Grant, I've been looking at this whole thing, and I said last night with Thomas Markle, he got himself into this situation with his daughter because he went and rigged some paparazzi shots for the Mail on Sunday ahead of the wedding. You remember the pictures, him getting sort of measured up for a suit and so on. You know, they were fixed. He organised those. I think he got some money for them because perhaps he was skint. But he's done it again, Grant, with this situation in the hospital bed. Poor bloke. I'll send my best wishes to him for having his foot amputated. You know, what a nightmare. But the first thing he does is invites Caroline Graham from the Mail to his bedside for quotes and videos. And I just think, look, I'm not a big Meghan fan, but I just think, come on, Thomas Markle, have you not learnt your lesson from last time?
I agree with you, Ben. I totally agree with you. I think it's not wise what he's doing, because if you are genuinely wanting to fix this relationship with his daughter and he wants to show her that, you know, he's learned from the mistakes of the past, why would you then have a journalist come back in to see what he's up to, see what's happening, to report on it? Obviously there'll be money being exchanged for this as well. So again, it's kind of doing what he did before, and that's what's difficult for Meghan, because obviously she wants to reach out and contact him, but then she's also aware that when she does contact him, that those conversations could then be relayed, or will be relayed, to the journalists, and then we'll all get to read about it, which is really difficult when this is at the end of the day, this is a private matter. This is a father and daughter. A father has had an operation. The daughter wants to reach out to the father to see if he's okay, or to see what she can do, potentially. And it's not going to be a private matter because of what he's done.
I'll give you updates here. And Carolyn Graham of the Mail on Sunday has been an amazing friend of my father for over 7 years now, since the beginning. And they've developed a great friendship. So I trust her. She's doing a great job. She's never thrown anybody in the family under the bus. And she does amazing reporting. So I want to make that very clear, that that's where your news is going to come from, and me. And a barbecue chicken wing. That's where it's going to come from. And that's it. Everybody else, they don't know anything. They just assume. And they get their news from here, or the Daily Mail. That's where it comes from. Mail on Sunday.
Let's talk about a headline that made me laugh so hard. My croaky voice got even croakier. So what do I mean? The other brother claims that he's not an ornamental patron, but unfortunately for him, the receipts prove otherwise. So the new headline is that he says, oh, I don't want to be an ornamental patron. And yeah, this is what I think. I mean, his team can spin it all they want, But when you strip away all the gloss, the photo ops, the carefully staged 30-minute engagements, well, the record and the evidence actually speaks for itself. So this is the reality. Number one, according to reports, his engagements are famously short, often under an hour, sometimes 20 to 30 minutes. It's perfect for pictures, but unfortunately, zero depth and no measurable impact. And here's another thing. He has no signature legacy, nothing on the level of, for example, his dad. His dad has decades in terms of globally recognized work, outcomes-driven work. If you take the Prince's Trust, when he was, well, Prince of Wales, when his dad was Prince of Wales, he founded the Prince's Trust. And that has been credited with changing lives and turning young people's lives around. And it's been highly, highly commended. And remember, his dad for decades also cared about the environment, also cared about organic produce, although he made a shed load of money from it, but at least he left a legacy. And then we move on to the other brother's younger brother, Prince Harry. Prince Harry, we know he deeply cares about wounded vets, the Invictus Games, global impact, speaks for itself. His charity that was hijacked, Centre Ballet, did wonderful, wonderful things for the children of Lesotho who had lost parents to HIV and AIDS. So we have two examples in his family doing incredible legacy-driven work. But him, on the other hand, pledges. There's a problem over there, a pledge. A problem over there, a pledge. Everything is pledge, pledge, pledge. Or he will lend his name to a project where other people have done the hard work. So yeah, unfortunately, record speaks for itself. So let's now move. And for people say, oh my God, that's unfair, Elizabeth. He has done blah, blah, blah. Let's have a good look at what he's been doing so far. So he has his own big projects. So for example, Earthshot, the recent example in Brazil, that was so bad and it was so widely panned by royalists and non-royalists alike. And the irony that they had to cut down a massive 3-4 mile 8 mile strip of forest just to make roads. Nah, not a good look for him. Not a good look at all. Widely panned. It wasn't great. And the funny thing about his projects is they never focus on the winners. So Earthshot, we would have loved to know who's the winner. What did they do to win? The ones who won in the past, where are they now? We never get anything like that. So yeah, sorry. And the problem is, a lot of the projects that he lends his name to, after launch day, that's it. You don't see him again. The projects, they fade, they stall, they get re-announced. That's another favorite, the announcement before the announcement. And then they disappear again. And yet, here he is talking about not being ornamental. But if you look closely at the article, you see him cutting a cake. You see the 30-minute drop in. You see a little paint on the wall. A few lines about, I want to get involved. So yeah, not a good look. That, in my opinion, is textbook symbolic participation. That was good maybe like 50 years ago, 30 years ago. But nowadays, people want a bit more. And as far as we're concerned, I think people are looking for things like systemic change. They're looking for measurable contribution, and they are looking for legacy. So 20 years with Centrepoint, what is the legacy? Honestly, nothing that shifts the ground, nothing that redefines homelessness, nothing that experts can point to and say, this model exists because it was pioneered by XYZ, or homelessness has gone down. Because unfortunately, the rate of homelessness is increasing exponentially. And if you compare that to what his mother, Princess Diana, did, her Centrepoint work, it really shook the establishment. She didn't just show up She literally changed public attitudes. Meanwhile, in the case of her son, it's actually the press that do the heavy lifting. Because when you look at things, you look at this man that is not even pushing for legislation. He's not changing how the homelessness prevention is being financed, and he's not doing a sustained campaign, because his mother, she was unstoppable. Even governments try to stop her when she's campaigning. This man is not doing the same. He just shows up 30 minutes, does a bit of photo op, and that's it. So I'm sorry that the same outlets that tear down his brother and his sister-in-law will turn around and inflate this man's very, very minimal efforts. And they try to say, oh my God, he's so hands-on. Hands-on where? So yeah, for me, the funny part is saying, I don't want to be ornamental, and then you do ornamental things. So yeah, you can't even compare the impact that of his work. You can't compare it to what Harry's doing and what Meghan's doing. So sorry. But I suppose you can compare it to what his wife is doing, because again, she's pretty much the same. Open up an office in the palace somewhere, a room, invite experts, talk about raising awareness and how we need love and da. Meanwhile, children are still hungry. So yeah, I suppose it checks. But yeah, let me know what you think. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me. So Meghan's spokesperson just dropped a bomb, and honestly, this might be the clearest, sharpest, and most devastating call out of the British tabloids that we've ever seen. And let's break this down, because these details really matter. So you know the headlines are crying, why won't Meghan contact her father? Why hasn't she reached out? She's heartless, she's cold, she's this, she's that. Then that yappy brother of hers also got involved and was banging on about lack of insurance and bills, and then the sister was banging on about he needs to be flown out to the US in a private jet and we need $200,000. Well. It turns out that Meghan was trying to contact him, because here's the part that the tabloids did not expect. The problem wasn't Meghan, the problem was the fail. Specifically, a particular reporter who has been camped at his side since 2018. She was with him in Mexico. She also followed him all the way to the Philippines, according to reports. Well, she is the one that has been named in upcoming lawsuits. So again, no surprise there. She's the same one who published Meghan's private letter to her dad, and the same one who has turned Thomas Markle into her personal content machine for the last few years. And according to Meghan's spokesperson, again, breaking news, this woman has been sitting beside Thomas Markle at his bedside. So she's been filming, photographing, narrating, shaping every interaction and clicks. Oh my God, while Meghan has been trying to reach out to him privately. Think about how wild that is, because this same woman wrote with her own pen. She wrote it down. It's in print. She said that she was the first person that Thomas contacted about his foot, even before he contacted his own kids. And yet, people are trying to lay the blame at Meghan's feet. What kind of a father is that? But anyway, imagine that you're in hospital and you are recovering from a life-changing health crisis, and instead of being surrounded by your family, so remember, he's got no relationship with his grandkids either, and the only successful child he has, they're estranged because he wouldn't stop talking to the press. But anyway, instead of being surrounded by your family, you are surrounded by tabloid reporters with a camera, turning your pain into a storyline. Tell me again who's exploiting him. So Meghan's spokesperson didn't mince words because a Daily Mail reporter has been present through every interaction, breaching ethical boundaries. I spoke about that in some of my past videos, broadcasting everything in real time and inserting herself into the middle of private family matters. It's been exceedingly difficult for Meghan to contact her family privately. So let me translate that. Every time Meghan gets close to communicating, somebody from the Mail is right there, hovering, ready to turn it into tomorrow's headline. And honestly, that really tracks, because this is the same outlet that published her private letter, and she won her lawsuit twice, I might add. The same outlet being sued for unlawful information gathering, the same outlet that refuses year after year to let this woman live in peace. And here's the part I love, because this is where the story flips. With the support of reliable and trusted contacts, her correspondence is now safely in his hands. This is incredible. You know why? There are witnesses that she gave, that whatever she gave, the correspondence, the letter, whatever it is, has been delivered directly to her father. It means if it leaks, if it gets published, one, it's not with her. One, it's not with her permission. Two, it means the dad sold her out again, and three, it means that now that it's been made public, the Daily Mail, if they publish any part of that correspondence, it means they are deliberately and knowingly breaching the law. I love this. It's now in the open. Dad has Meghan's correspondence. It was privately arranged. It wasn't meant for public consumption. I love it. That is playing chess while other people are playing checkers. But anyway, I love that she didn't let the tabloids block her. She set a boundary. She had a strategy in place. And this is a woman who has learned to protect herself. One thing about Meghan is that she keeps receipts. And I remember her saying something like, if I had known that they wouldn't protect me, I would have protected myself. That woman is smart. You cannot tell me otherwise. That woman is smart. So yeah, the Daily Mail can't rewrite the story again. She didn't give them the call, the voicemail, the audio, the text messages that they always leak, twist, and monetize. Instead, she used trusted intermediaries, people who can deliver a message privately, safely, and without turning it into a tabloid circus. So I love that it's quiet, it's intentional, it's controlled, and it exposes the bigger truth. The biggest obstacle between Meghan and her father has never been Meghan, it's the British tabloids. And it has always been, and everybody knows that now. And in fact, members of the public are very, very annoyed and irritated with the tabloids because they're like, you know what? Enough is enough. Leave them be. And the cherry on top is that the fail cannot twist this one. They can't pretend that she didn't reach out. They can't pretend that there was silence. And they can't pretend that she is cold, because there's now a record, a statement, a paper trail, an official acknowledgement that Meghan tried, and it was the media that was standing in the doorway. The same media that built an industry out of vilifying her. But anyway, what do you think? I think this is just the start. I think she's got other things lined up and planned, and she is going to defeat these tabloids, or at least she will try, because she has a family to protect now. But anyway, let me know what you think. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of the award-winning The Luxpreneur. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me. Let's talk about the events of the past few days. Please excuse my croaky voice. I've got a cold again. Let's talk about the events of the past few days. We know that Thomas Markle has been in a hospital bed overseas in Cebu, in the Philippines, and the tabloids are circling as they always do. And the usual Meghan smear machine is warming up like it's 2018 again. It's the same script, the same actors, and the same tired narrative. Now, Thomas gives the Daily Mail access before he even updated his own kids. Now, remember, this is a man with 3 children, 2 of whom are losers, and 1 who is very successful. And of course, that particular reporter that has followed him from Mexico all the way to the Philippines is in that room with him. She's filming, she's interviewing, and she's shaping the story the way she always does. And the tabloids are already writing the headlines in their minds. Meghan hasn't called. Meghan stays silent. Heartbroken dad begs for contact. So we know they did all that. But then something wild happens. Instead of Meghan walking into their trap, 2 US consular officers walk into the hospital instead. I love that Uno reverse card. Can you imagine the faces in that room when these particular officers walk in? Because this is not part of the script that the tabloid media have written for what Meghan's next move was going to be. And this is where the shift happens, because Meghan didn't call, she didn't text, she didn't send any message that could be leaked, twisted, sold, or turned into clickbait. She went through official, documented channels, the kind that cannot be spun into some sort of drama for tabloid profit. As far as that wasn't emotional, that wasn't dramatic, that was smart. Now, remember the poll that said that Meghan was the smartest member of that family? We're seeing evidence right now. Because after years of having every private message turned into a headline, Meghan finally said, "You're not using me for a storyline anymore." And honestly, that is power. The consular officers didn't show up so they can play tabloid referee. They came because Meghan made the request through proper government systems. Now, remember, she worked as an intern at the American Embassy in Argentina. People honestly think that this woman, I don't even know why they think she's not smart. She's had to be smart all her life to deal with that man. But anyway, I digress. So I can imagine these officers, they walked in with their badges, with their identification, with their documents, and with their authority. There were no cameras, no gossip, and no Daily Mail agenda. And that move did something that the tabloids absolutely hate. It removed their ability to lie. No more, "Oh my God, she never reached out." No more, "Oh my God, she abandoned him." No more emotional blackmail disguised as concern. Just facts, just records, just the truth. Meghan checked in on her father in a way that couldn't be bought, edited, or weaponized. And for the first time, the old cycle is broken. And it's not just about setting boundaries, it's about growth and liberation. I know the saga is still unfolding as we speak, and I'm going to bring you the next update very soon. But please, guys, when there is silence from the Sussexes, it doesn't mean nothing is happening. Leave them be. They know what they're doing, and they're always 10 steps ahead of the trolls, of the haters. Sometimes you need to let the enemy think they're winning, and then boom, Uno reverse. But anyway, what do you think? I'd love to read your comments, please. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of the award-winning, yay, The Luxpreneur. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me.
The wildest thing about this Thomas Markle story might be his relationship with a certain journalist. A brief timeline. On December 6th, the Daily Mail published this piece, "See Me Before I Die, Unhinged Behavior." And it's all about how Meghan's father, who is in the Philippines, needed emergency surgery to amputate below his knee. He claims he hasn't heard from Meghan, but Meghan's team goes to People and clarifies that yes, she did reach out to her father via email. She also tried to call a bunch of hospitals to see where he was. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, girl, why are you putting anything in writing with your father? Well, for starters, Thomas didn't have a phone on him with him. Meghan's team said she didn't have an updated number. And this might be one situation where you actually do want to have a paper trail, because you know how the British media be. And you know your father well enough because he is still BFFs with the journalist who obtained your private letter to your father and published it in a piece that the Mail on Sunday got sued over by Meghan for invasion of privacy and copyright infringement. The kind of incredible part of this article, and I don't mean incredible in a positive way, is this mini entry that happens beneath it by Caroline Graham, who was in the Philippines. Thomas texted her about the fact that he was going to lose his leg, and she immediately hopped on several flights to get to the Philippines. Thomas reached out to a journalist before any of his children to let them know that he needed emergency surgery. Graham actually broke the news to Thomas's other children. Here's the kind of wild part that she writes. Quote, "We, Thomas, speak most days, and I consider him something of a father figure. He is a rock-solid friend who helped me through the deaths of my mother and brother." Listen, very nice thing to do. But aren't we a little too close to the source? Listen, it clearly doesn't hurt to have this friendship. I mean, Thomas willingly gave her the private letter to reprint in the Daily Mail. And in this piece, you learn that he gives her permission to talk with his doctor, talk with really whoever she wants, and then publish it. I understand that it's the Daily Mail, but where's the line where you have just become too close to your subject? It's difficult not to read this and think about Olivia Nuzzi's relationship with RFK Jr. Obviously, a different situation, and the kind of power RFK Jr. has, and what Olivia did or did not disclose that maybe would have been important before, say, a confirmation hearing for the HHS secretary position. It blurs many ethical lines. So while this is somewhat lower stakes, still really concerning to see. Feelings in your relationship for your subject are going to heavily influence your objectivity, if there was any objectivity to begin with. And it's one of the many reasons I don't blame Meghan for being very careful when trying to get information on her father and trying to reach out to him, when you know that he's hanging out with the same journalist who invaded your privacy and made your life hell. Anyway, very weird developing story.
Bit of a royal update. We understand that Thomas Markle has received a letter from his daughter Meghan. Let's go to our royal correspondent Cameron Walker, and he will tell us more about what we understand of this situation. Cameron.
Morning, Eamon. Yeah, it's the most bizarre situation, to be honest. I've received a statement in the last half an hour or so from the Duchess's spokesperson. I'll just read it out. It says, given that the Daily Mail reporter has remained at her father's bedside throughout, broadcasting each interaction and breaching clear ethical boundaries, it has been exceedingly difficult for the Duchess to contact her father privately, despite her efforts over the past several days. With the support of reliable and trusted contacts, her correspondence is now safely in her hands. And I understand that means a letter has been handed from Meghan to Thomas Markle. So let's just rewind slightly here. Thomas Markle ended up in intensive care and had his leg amputated. And he texted a journalist who he has become friends with, really, over the last 8 years or so, after Meghan became very estranged from her father in a run-up to Harry and Meghan's wedding. Her father posed for paparazzi photographs for payments, a mistake, but Meghan essentially just kind of cut off her father there. And when she heard reports that her father was incredibly ill in the newspapers, I think she tried to reach out. She first sent an email to the only contact she had for him, Thomas no longer use that email address. She doesn't have her phone number anymore, even though Thomas insists that she does. But it became the most bizarre situation because we have a journalist literally at the bedside of Thomas Markle recording what Thomas is saying and then obviously publishing it in the newspaper. So from Meghan's perspective and Meghan's team's perspective, that's breaching ethical boundaries. I think the Daily Mail would probably point out that this isn't on a whim and they're not invading Thomas's privacy because everything they are publishing is with Thomas's absolute permission, and Thomas has a very trusted relationship with the US Mail on Sunday editor Caroline Graham. So this is effectively the first contact Thomas and Meghan have had since the run-up to that wedding in 2018. So it is an important step. It could be perhaps the start of some kind of reconciliation, but I just don't see how any reconciliation can take place when there's a Daily Mail journalist in the room, or any kind of journalist in the room for that matter. So I think it's going to be a tricky situation. Is Meghan going to fly to the Philippines? Well, according to the Mail, Thomas Markle doing a lot better than he was. He's no longer in intensive care. He's in a hospital room. He's got a long road ahead for recovery, but it looks like he's stable for now.
It's a fascinating one. We'll keep an eye on. Simon's in the studio, as you can see. While all this is going on, Simon, there's also a situation that Meghan is dealing with her father at the moment, which is quite concerning, isn't it?
It's very worrying, and Meghan is estranged and has been since the wedding, really, from her father, Thomas Markle. He was in Mexico back then. He's moved to the Philippines, and there are reports that he's seriously ill in hospital and has had a leg amputated. Obviously, very worrying for Meghan. She's not in touch with him. She's tried to get in touch with him, we understand, by email and by mobile phone, but it just hasn't worked, and there are reports that she's been ringing round various hospitals in the Philippines trying to get in touch with him to find out what's going on and how he is. So very worrying for her estranged family, and then of course with the Harry story, as we've been reporting today, his estranged family here in the UK. There could be developments on that next month.
Okay, Simon, for the moment, thank you. Let's bring you some other headlines.
She kind of can't win, unfortunately, and also the other complicating factor is that the father, Thomas Markle Jr., does have a deal going with the Daily Mail. They have a financial arrangement. So if she was to turn up, there would be a reporter right by the bed, which kind of complicates things and may not be what Meghan wants to play a part in.
Not a lot to celebrate, so cheers to you, Chanel. And we're toasting a fellow Northwestern grad, you and me, Northwestern grads. And also we have a Northwestern grad founder of As Ever, Meghan Markle. So this...
Go Cats!
Go Cats, yes. So this is a lovely gift set. We have the lavender honeycomb honey.
This is really good.
We have their Brut champagne, which is delicious. And then we have their fruit spread trio. So this has a raspberry, it has an orange marmalade, and the strawberry, which is special edition for the holiday season.
Delicious.
It's inspired by Meghan's recipe that she makes at home, brought to your own home. So cheers. And
hibiscus tea. Do you see this thing? It's like a miracle tea. I am not kidding you. The team at As Ever for Meghan Markle is unbelievable. I'm telling you this. I ordered a package going to Malibu, California, and for some reason, the default address was clicked. Even though I'd unclicked it, somehow there must have been a glitch. And so it was sent to Kentucky instead of Malibu. I don't know if they've got elves or reindeers or hobbits or fairies. I have no fucking idea what they're doing over there, but they freaking fixed it in 15 minutes. I swear to God, I tried to change it on UPS, but I wasn't able to do it, right? And then I wrote them. This, I'm not kidding you, is one of the best teas I've ever had in my life. My cousin got it in Kentucky, and she said it was one of the best gifts she's ever received in her entire frigging life. I mean, she was practically crying. I'm not kidding you. She said it's the best, the most amazing frigging tea. I have no idea what they've done to produce this. It's a full-bodied tea, but it's light also, but it's very comforting, and it glides down your throat, and the color is so vibrant and so red, and I'm at loss for words, actually. She said she normally has it before she goes to bed. It's a treat. If you want to send gifts this is the thing that I recommend. Make sure you include the hibiscus tea, but make sure you include the hibiscus tea and the honey. It is beyond. It's so comforting. It's so loving. It's so kind. You feel just enveloped in love and I'm at loss. I'm at loss. But anyhow, so I'm very thrilled, obviously, and that's why I'm gushing the way I am, because I have never in my entire life had a company respond in like lightning speed. And again, as I said, everyone that I know, everyone that I love is getting as ever for their gifts from now on. But the hibiscus tea and the honey is beyond exquisite. It's when you add that honey with it, it's just exquisite. It's beautiful. It's beyond, I'm telling you, right? It's serious, believe me. Believe me. I'm not blowing smoke up here, blah, 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 blah. So guys at Hibiscus, I mean, guys at Forever or As Ever, I love you. I think you're fabulous. You're wonderful. Meghan Markle, they're doing a great job. They're representing you so well. Mwah! Because yesterday I was really pissed off. I truly was. I really was. I was so upset. I almost cried, but now I'm laughing and this tea is one of the best frigging teas. So I know I'm going on and on and on.
Cal Malone, that bleached, big-boned, bad-bodied bitch from GB News, recently suggested, nay, she didn't suggest, she stated that Doreen Raglan was a criminal who'd served time. Doreen Raglan is Meghan's mother. Of course, this isn't true, and it's been debunked many a time. As a social worker, she wouldn't have been able to get a license had she had a criminal conviction. But apparently this didn't stop Carol from actually verbalising this on national TV. So along with the other Meghan and Harry fans, I think that bitch should be sued and sued well. So I'm lending my voice to the cause. Sue the bitch. Pass it on.
Meghan Markle is keeping this royal Christmas tradition alive with her family in the US. In her Netflix special With Love Meghan Holiday Celebration, the Duchess of Sussex made Christmas crackers and said, living in the UK, it's just such a big part of the culture over there. The royal family is known to enjoy the tradition of Christmas crackers, with people reporting that even the late Queen Elizabeth II loved reading the jokes at Christmas lunch. British manufacturer Tom Smith produces special crackers each year for the royal household and has done so for over 100 years.
The national animal of England. Am I supposed to know that? You don't know that. Sorry, I'm keeping that on camera. She doesn't know it either. It's a lion. Huh. Appropriate. What is the national animal of Scotland? I mean, these questions. What is the national animal of Scotland? I don't know. That's not even a Jeopardy question. No. Really? It's a unicorn. We're all moving to Scotland. What is the national animal of Wales? I can't say that I know. Are these real right now? It's a dragon. Okay, lions and unicorns and dragons. Oh my. Say that.
Place to Be delivers exceptional specialist counselling service in schools. Action on Addictions MPAC programme. Transform the lives of so many young children here.
The larger impact of what this symbolizes. Because yes, women's suffrage is about feminism, but feminism is about fairness. Suffrage is not simply about the right to vote, but also about what that represents. The basic and fundamental human right of being able to participate in the choices for your future and that of your community. The involvement and voice that allows you to be a part of the very world that you are a part of.
Well, I've always felt really strongly in sort of putting ideas together. Sort of, we all had very different areas that we were working with. Sort of Harry with doing a lot with knife crime, but a lot with homelessness, and for me with sort of addiction and things. And I just think being able to sort of come together to find some sort of common ground, and be able to sort of draw ideas together and find a way forward, I think was really, really exciting.
But I would like to add to that you are also the present. You are the ones driving the positive and necessary change needed across the globe now in this very moment. And for that, I'm so grateful to be in your company today.
Or user 80059, etc. Not many people really hate her, Meghan Markle. She's not that important. She's just really fun to laugh at. She's seriously weird, untalented, and you go on and on. I swear, after 5 years on this app, you people are so weird. You go page to page trying to find ways to hate Meghan Markle. And the way you talk about it, she's not that important. Why are you here? Why are you writing comment after comment and trying to go against someone you don't know? It's based on this uncontrollable hate, jealousy, bitterness. I'm going to talk about this in another video today. The way that these people, they've always got something very ugly about them. There's something they don't like about themselves, and I think that's what makes them so angry. And you literally go page to page to just throw the hate out there and be like, you must listen to me, she's awful. You have nothing to back it up apart from your own hate. It's really sad, but you know what? Meghan's having the last laugh. She's having the last laugh of you, of the UK media, of the tabloids. She's laughing all the way to the bank. And I know that makes you angry to hear about Meghan.
I absolutely do not believe that King Charles is talking about his bittersweet Christmas without the Sussexes. And I will show you why. But first, please look at this picture where Kate and William are off to the side and not in the main tent, which I think is so hilarious. Anyway, just a few weeks ago, before that other article, there was an article in Hello that said, King Charles closes the door on Prince Harry reunion. There will be no detour when King Charles comes to the United States in probably April of 2026, since President Piggy invited him over for the 4th of July. But King Charles is going to come earlier, and he will not be going to see the Sussexes, even though he will be in the United States. And it would be an easy hop, skip, and a jump over to California. So no, I do not believe that King Charles is feeling bittersweet memories of having them for Christmas, because he does not care. He will not even go out of his way when he's in the same country to see them. So stop lying, old man.
That's how you walk around. Okay?
Okay. Rob comes here all the time.
Did you say the baby? Huh? Mom comes here?
Rob.
Oh, Rob? To do what? Why does he come? I'll wait for you here. You want me? I'll wait for you. So we're just walking around today, doing nothing. If you ask me, it's just walk around and sit around and do nothing. And just watch the world. And Christmas trees. Christmas trees. Is that a human being? What is it? Oh no, it's some kind of an animal. I can't tell what it is. But
oh, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, with their little work.
There he is. Are we going?
We are.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yeah. Maybe we should carry my purse so you could be fancy. You'd
Oh,
be
should
fancy
I?
as hell.
Want to be fancy? Do I look good?
You fancy as hell, Daddy. Yeah, that guy be carrying Dior purse around the place.
Where's the sweet cow at?
Is that inside here?
I don't know.
It says lemongrass. Maybe that one down there?
It's
See
a
that place?
sweet cow.
That place down there, what is it?
Let's go find it. Let's keep
Oh, there it is.
Where? I found it.
So we're going to be sweeting cows ourselves now. Pizza.
This
You
is
said pizza.
We have pizza here.
So this is sweet cow.
It's over here.
So we're looking for milkshake for my husband. He likes milkshake.
Well, all the boys in the yard.
He likes all the milkshakes we can get.
She likes milkshake too. She
don't.
likes white milkshake. I like chocolate milkshake.
Or maybe I like vanilla.
You love vanilla shake.
I love vanilla, and then he likes chocolate.
You're
Isn't that the right thing?
Yeah. The laughing girl.
Vanilla, baby. That's gossip. That's gossip laughter. That's my gossip laughter.